Good job today, man. One at a time, and we'll get the job done. Y'all know what to say. On three. 1, 2, 3.
And the home of the Jets.
Good evening, everybody. Let's talk Jets on a Monday after a Jets loss to the Ravens, which has created a variety of reactions. Some people are okay with it. Some people are angry. All kinds of different hot takes out there. So before we get started, Bubs, happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, everybody out there, man. I can't believe it's this Thursday already.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving to you as well, Tyson. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody in the chat. It's the holiday season, so that's always great. Looking forward to diving into another Jets loss. What else is new in this 2025 season? But looking forward to it.
But you know what it is, though? Like going into the game, the expectations were Baltimore's a team that's desperate. They want to get back into the AFC North race. They want to get in the playoff hunt. They've been rolling. And I'm like, the Jets are probably going to get blown out. That's my opinion. I'm like, the spread was whatever it was, 13.5. I expected that. And the Jets come out, and even though they lost, I think it was, 23-10. The game was interesting. It was much closer than anticipated. The Jets made a couple mistakes that kind of got the game slipped away from them. But I didn't walk away mad. I walked away like, you know what? Competitive loss. So a lot of really good things. They were, they had lesser talent than the Ravens, but I didn't walk away mad, dude.
Yeah, it was kind of similar to the Patriots game where a much better opponent, much more talented opponent. You're kind of walking into a hornet's nest, expect the worst, expect them to get blown out. And they were able to keep it a game with what they're working with. No real quarterback play. Obviously, a lack of weapons for the most part. A couple nice plays, which we'll get into from Mechie and A.D. Mitchell doing some good things. But for the most part, the talent's not there offensively. And then, of course, defensively, you're working with some lack of talent as well. But they're fighting. They're competing in some of these games. They're not getting blown out. They're not getting embarrassed. And that is a positive, which was not the case earlier in the year where they got blown out against the Bills. They got blown out up until that miracle comeback against the Bucs. That was a game, the first 3 quarters, where they were getting blown out the building. Yep. And then you had the blowout against the Cowboys as well, which only looks a little bit better because some of the garbage time stuff, some of the garbage time numbers, as we know, they went into this game with a lead at halftime. And some of the killer mistakes, the fumble, things like that continue to hurt them. That's the difference between them being a good team and winning these games and losing these games, which is where they're at right now. But there's definitely some positives to take from it. And I think a lot of people, we said it, I think we both said it last week. I think every Jet fan said it. The Ravens are, even if the Jets were good this season, the Ravens are about the worst opponent possible for the Jets because their ability to run the football with Lamar and Derrick Henry, the Jets have always struggled stopping the run, and something they've struggled this season doing. And Lamar's clearly not 100%, but the fact that they were able to remain pretty stout against the run, Derrick Henry under 100 yards, he did have the 2 touchdowns, but other than that, not a big day. And Lamar as well kept him to only 11 rushing yards, I believe, on the day. Overall, they kept Baltimore to under 100 rushing yards. That was a good thing. There were certainly things that you could take away that are good. I mean, the fact that they were in it.
Yeah, I mean, and we'll go position by position. Like Tyrod Taylor got the start. I was excited about that. And you saw things out of him that you can't see out of Justin Fields, a competent passing game. Like, and that was, he got in and out of the huddle well. He managed the offense. The play calling, to me, we'll get into that too, was kind of suspect at times. But Tyrod can make throws that Justin Fields can't do consistently, which gives you a level of confidence. I think also gives the receivers confidence too, where if they run their route properly, they're going to get the ball. Now, again, they didn't throw for 500 yards, but you saw like more mechanics of a competent NFL offense this week than you did over the last couple of weeks, minus the Bengal game.
Yeah, no, you saw some good things. I mean, I think one of the best plays of the day was on the 3rd and 6, I believe it was, delivering that 16-yard strike to A.D. Mitchell. And then he had another pass too to A.D. Mitchell for, I think it was 26 yards, which was one of the longer plays of the day.
Yeah.
There was certainly some of those pushing the ball a bit more downfield. There was a couple chances that Tyrod took downfield that were a little off. The one he kind of got hit and it felt like just the ball, it was an inaccurate pass downfield to A.D. Mitchell, maybe if he had a little bit more time, and maybe some others where just the lack of practice and the lack of time on task in a way hurt them. But all in all, like, you saw some good things out of John Mechie. Tyrod was able to get him the football. You saw some good things from A.D. Mitchell. He was able to get him the football. Those are things you want to see.
I think the one thing that Tyrod really pissed me off with was the sack before halftime.
Yes,
because they were right there where it's like, he's like a veteran quarterback, should know that he's trying to fight. The guy has his foot, but I'm like, dude, you're in field goal range there. And that, again, not going to make a huge difference. I'm not like sitting there breaking things, but I'm like, I was like, man, that sack is brutal. Yeah. A couple of things too, where you're like, man, I wish he didn't do that. But you also got to keep in mind too, he's playing with two receivers he just met a week and a half ago. He's got, he's been coming off injury, hasn't been practicing. All of these things coming in. So I'm like, all right, something disappointing you, but I'm like, maybe this is a step of like, all right, you saw it this week. Now you can build on it next week with the Falcons and maybe expand the playbook more, get more with these wide receivers. I know he's been working with Mitchell and Mechie behind the scenes. Like, it's like, it's a lot of newness there, but that sack before halftime, dude, drove me absolutely crazy.
Yeah, the sack before halftime was inexcusable. That's one time you can't take a sack, and he took the sack. That is just quarterback one-on-one, offense one-on-one, can't happen, unacceptable. And you wish, as a veteran, 36 years old, right, been in the league since 2011, actually, of course, drafted by the Ravens. You'd think he would understand that. And again, it's just those little things. That's the frustrating part of all these losses is it's all these little things. It's the sack before halftime. It's the fumble. It's the two penalties. The pass interferences on third down. The difference between getting off the field and then all of a sudden that drive turning into a touchdown drive. That's the difference between a field goal and 14 points allowed. That's an 11-point swing right there. So it's those little details that a 2-9 team's going to hurt themselves with, and a team, not that the Ravens have a great record, but a team that's hot, playing well, they're going to make you pay for that.
Yep. So you go, the quarterback, I thought was, he did his job. I think it was, I wasn't mad at it. Like you said, it's a work in progress. We're not expecting a high flying 35 point tonight, a game offense. You go to the offensive line and you look at, they're a work in progress. Like Olu and Membu are learning on the job. Like they came out in this. What was impressed me the most is the first quarter, they came out so physical on both sides of the ball. Like they came out, like, to Aaron Glenn's credit, they came out nasty. They came out physical. They came out, they had a blueprint they wanted to follow, and they were following it. And I loved it, dude. It's like, don't be like that. Don't get pushed around. Don't get bullied around, which usually the Jets do against physical teams. They didn't do that at all, especially the offensive line, which, like, listen, they made some mistakes. John Simpson seems like he's good for that one holding penalty a week that absolutely hurts them. Josh Myers, for whatever reason, these friggin' snaps all seem low now. For like the last 3 weeks, nobody's even talking about it, but his snaps have been very inconsistent. Tipton had the penalty, but like you're figuring out what your parts are going into next year. I'm really curious to see what the Jets do. I think you can upgrade center, and then you keep Tippmann at guard. They seem to like Tippmann a lot. So if you have Membu, Tippmann, you bring him back, you change the center. What do you do with John Simpson though? Is he a guy that you try to give 3 more years here, or how do you handle him? Because he played great last year. This year's been a little bit more inconsistent. But that could be the new staff. It could be a variety of things.
Yeah, the interior is still kind of up for debate, right? You like what you've seen from the two tackles. Olu's gotten better as the year gone on. Membu's been excellent. Forget just among rookie tackles. He's been great for any tackle. He looks like a seasoned vet out there with week in and week out what he's been able to do, handling some really, really good pass rushers. So you feel great about those two, continuing to get better, continue to improve. But yeah, the interior is interesting, because then you even throw in the AVT element to it all, where do they bring him back? Is he somebody that they want on a prove it deal, and then how does that, affect the whole Simpson thing? I tend to agree, and I think most Jet fans agree. I think Tippmann's better at guard because it's less kind of thinking for him. He could just let his natural ability take over. And he did have the penalty yesterday, but other than that, this season he's been much stronger. I believe that was actually his first penalty of the year yesterday, which is going to happen, but that's a good thing that it took that long. Definitely better than where he was at as a center. I could see them bringing Simpson back. It was a 2-year deal similar to that, potentially 2 or 3 years. He's been a little up and down this year. There's been some of those penalties from Simpson where he's kind of been standing up for his quarterback in a way. There's been a couple of those you can understand it, and a couple of those shouldn't be happening with some of the after the play stuff. He's definitely had a drop, though, in play from where he was
that's what it
last
seems
year.
like.
There's
two streams, man. You have like the YouTube stream and like the phone stream. So different streams, man. You're probably on the wrong stream. Just cut you off. But I agree. Like the offensive line, which is going to be the backbone of your team. That's like the anchor of your team. You have some pieces there. How they handle it gets interesting. So they came out physical. Then you have the running game where Breece Hall wasn't really running the ball, but they finally used him as a receiver, which has been like we've been asking for this for weeks. Like has only have one target, has only have 2 targets. They finally give him targets. He has the 2 big catches. You're like, all right, this offense is rolling. Now this game is really interesting. And then boom, the fumble on the 2-yard line. And I'm like, and it wasn't like a haphazard fumble. It was an effort fumble. He was fighting for every yard. He was feeling he had the energy, and it's like boom. And it's like the fumble was just like that was the end of the game right there. Yeah. What I liked the most was as he walked off, Aaron Glenn went right up to him, dude, walked him over, said, listen, you're not going to hang your head. Like a teammate's like, it seems like it's a very close team. Like they're all fighting with each other. Like there's no individuals like, listen, man, we're all in this together. Don't, whatever it is. But the fumble blew. It's no sugarcoating that. But I like how the team handled it.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate that happened again because he had something with the Jets and fumbles. It's right. You had the Xavier Gibson fumble in week 1. You have the Braylon Allen fumble on the 1 in Miami, and then even the Breece fumble against Dallas going back to earlier in the year where I don't know if they go on and win that game, but that fumble was the difference between then going into halftime with points. And then I think that was 20. I think they ended up putting up like 20 points in the next 2 minutes. So that was that crazy sequence to go down like 23-3. That was that disaster where they crumbled after the fumble. And in this week where the fumble happens, it just stinks that you're so close to punching it in. And he was having such a great drive, and for it to end that way was tough. And it just not enough time at that point to come back. It was 6 minutes, 50 something seconds, I think, left at that point.
Too much at that point.
It was down 2 scores. It's ideally there. You cut it to 3 with 6 minutes left, get the ball back and put yourself in a good spot. I still would like to see them get Breece involved earlier in the game in receiving situations. I'm sure we'll talk about it, but the 1 4th down, or the 4th down that they went for it.
We'll talk about it now, dude. It's you had a 3rd and 4, a 4th and 2 on your own 42-yard line, and it's like, first of all, I didn't even want to go for it there. I'm like, the way the defense was playing, I'm like, and I know all the Jets are 2-8, nobody cares, blah blah blah. Like, no, but this is having a feel for the game, and your defense is playing that well. Don't put me in that bad spot. You go for it, and the fucking play call was terrible. And Breece was on the field for either one of them.
Yeah.
And then Aaron Glenn's like, well, we believe in Isaiah Davis. I don't give a shit who you believe in. Yeah. In that situation, when you're on your own 42, your best player should be on the field, and that's Breece Hall. And the fact that he wasn't, to me, was just ridiculous.
Yeah. And that's where I think the coaching staff did take a bit of a step back yesterday is the Tanner Engstrand's play calling early on was awful. I thought it was terrible.
Yep.
I understand they want to establish the run. I get all that. And that's what this offense has done well. When this offense has been flowing, it's when the run game's been going, right? Not to rhyme there, but that's been how that's how they're set up. And Breece Hall's their best weapon. Use him on the ground, use him as a receiver, which they need to more of. But they weren't getting anywhere running the football early on. And it was the run, pass, run. The 3
runs at one time.
Straight Isaiah Davis runs was just mind-numbing. And then to not go for it in that situation makes no sense either. Because if you're going to run it 3 times in a row, that better mean you're putting yourself in a position to then potentially go for it on a 4th and short.
Right.
And then they punt there. They take the delay game, give themselves more space to punt.
Yep.
And that's where I don't understand where Glenn was coming from yesterday in terms
that was like Justin Fields play calling. That's like when you have a quarterback, you're scared to throw the ball, you call that kind of stuff. Yeah. When you have Tyler Taylor who's actually throwing the ball, like why you don't need to you weren't fooling anybody.
Yeah. I totally agree. And the couple passes they had early on, they were executing those. They had a couple early completions early on. But I think the first 22 plays, it was 16 runs, 6 passes. You have to be able to adjust in the game where, okay, run isn't going to be able to set up the pass today. Baltimore's all over it. we got to pass to try and set up the run today. You have more of a capable passer. Engstrand's got to realize that. I totally agree with that. He was playing like he had Fields still back there. He was still playing scared, hoping that they would be able to break through on the ground game. But it was way too predictable. And it was all up the middle, like vanilla concepts. There was no trickery, no counter, none of that. It was running Isaiah Davis up the middle 3 times is unacceptable. And then to Glenn, the bone I have to pick with him is, if you're not going to go for it on that 4th down, fine. If you're going to play conservative today, fine. And your defense is playing well, you're in the game, you don't want to go for it and give them momentum. But then you can't go for it on that 4th and 2 later in the game. You can't punt on the first 4th down and then later in the game say, let's go for it, and all momentum was lost after that. You just can't do that. Either you go for both or you punt both.
Yeah, it drove me crazy. Some of the play calling drove me crazy. It was conservative. And it's like, okay, you're respecting your opponent. It's going to be a low-scoring game, all this stuff. But I'm like, you have to at least be a threat on offense. And they were just like, they were mailing in series. And I'm like, wow, what? Like, it was like, this field isn't here. You have a quarterback that can throw the ball. Yep. And it drove me crazy. So then you go from that to the running game wasn't really there. I understand they want to work on Isaiah Davis. Isaiah Davis as a receiver, you get him in space. He's very crafty. He's explosive and dynamic. But like the way they used him was kind of weird. Then you go to wide receivers where, you got to like what you see out of Mechie. You have to. And it was like, he was a guy nobody cared about. They'd been here, a week and a half, 2 weeks. They haven't been here all that long. And Mechie is becoming a reliable target, good route runner, scores a touchdown again another week. And it's like, okay, now the goal of this is to get him up to speed as fast as possible, get him involved in the offense, and give them targets. Let them catch the ball and see what they can actually do with an eye towards next year. So you're seeing that from him. You're seeing that from Mitchell. Unfortunately, Aaron Smith is just nowhere to be found at this point, which is disappointing. Excuse me. You wish you saw more of Mason Taylor, but you don't. I don't know why Jelani Woods is inactive every week. How can he not, just give him a flyer, dude? Yeah. Stone Smart does nothing for you. Rutgers, one catch a week, if that. I think he's a target. He's a weapon. Why do you have him if you're not even going to try to use him? This is the time to use guys like that, right? And it's just, the wide receivers, you see things like Mitchell is definitely an explosive guy that can be a vertical threat. I think he's just scratching the surface with this team where they figure out how to use him, and Tyrod gets better chemistry with him. But the wide receiver group, it's kind of encouraging, but I still would like to see more younger guys, dude. I know Tyler Johnson was inactive, but and Lazard was active, whatever, right? But then I guess Lazard has chemistry with Tyrod Taylor, whatever. Don't care about that. Youth movement, man. Get all these young guys in and see what they can bring to the table.
Yeah, I was going to mention Lazard, and guy in the chat just put it up there too, seeing Lazard on the final drive. That was ridiculous. The only Lazard sighting of the day. Really, the only Lazard sighting of the season was that 9-yard catch he had when they were backed up when the game was over. I still don't know why Lazard is active. And just 3 guys. And I'll get to receivers. I don't want to get off track. But 3 guys that are just useless right now. Lazard being active every week. Michael Clemens being active every week. And Tony Adams.
Tony Adams.
There is a point where Glenn, this staff, has just got to get rid of kind of the remaining just dead weight, if you will, of the right. They're really trying to remake this roster. Right? They make the 2 blockbuster trades. They've made a couple other trades with, Phillips, Briggs, and Jarvis Brownlee to try and get guys that fit their type. You can't do all that and then keep these same they're just rotting here, taking up roster space. So
it's terrible.
Those 3 guys, just anybody. Dean Clark can play safety. Anybody but Tony Adams now.
But the thing is, what's crazy is we saw these guys in the preseason. The Dean Clarks, I think it was Jarius Monroe. Some of the guys, they were flying around. I'm like, why not? I'd rather see these guys learn now in a lost season than watch Tony Adams fuck up left and right and make these plays where you're like, you've got to be kidding me. And the other thing I like about him too, dude, he'll give up the 12-yard catch and then taunt. You give up the first down. What are you celebrating? You made a tackle? You're surprised you tackled the guy because you didn't do anything else right.
Tackling in the NFL.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I would. Tony Adams isn't going to be here long term, and that's the whole point of playing these young guys. That's all fine and good. If they're making mistakes, they got to learn from it. They're going to make mistakes, right? Az Thomas has made some plays, but he's also had some mistakes. There's been some penalties. That's all a part of the process. But I'd rather see Dean Clark or anybody, any of these guys make these mistakes because they're young. You just want to see what they look like. Give them opportunities over Tony Adams, who who he is. He's actually gotten worse. He's not any good. He's not going to be here long term. So that's just that. In terms of the receivers, and I agree, and even Pritchett, Brandon Smith, any of these guys, can they also get elevated one of these days too? Stone Smart's just exclusively special teams. You
Yep.
never see him actually in the offense. Jelani Woods at this point, neither there.
And the other thing too is, and Isaiah Williams, who's becoming a legitimate threat as a returner, to his credit, completely surprising me. He looks more explosive. He actually looks dangerous as a returner. Why is he not involved in the offense? When he had a chance a couple weeks ago, he made some plays. Like, let's use these guys. Stop forcing other players in here for no reason. Like, and that's my one thing. Hoping, like, when you play maybe lesser competition, like say the Falcons. Well, Falcons are actually decent too on defense, but like, let these guys get chances, man. Like, open up the offense. Let Tyrod throw the ball, especially when the offense is blocking for him, when the offensive line is blocking for him. He had time.
Yeah, and I would even like to see them get Mason Taylor more involved a bit more. He had that stretch of a couple of weeks where he was really playing well. I believe it was the Denver game in Denver, and then the Miami game. He had a couple really good games. He had the touchdown against Cincinnati. There was that stretch there where he was playing really well. And it's not that he's just not getting as many opportunities. He only had 3 catches, 5 targets. I would like to see him get those 5 to 6 catches.
Well, they got to stop running the ball for no friggin' reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like, and this is something, Aaron Glenn talked about. And the question is, what's up with the communication problems in week 12? I think it's literally all these new players out there. You're trotting in new quarterback, new receivers, all this. I think that's something that they hope will get cleaned up over the next, I'm hoping this week, but that's something that I'm not completely surprised by. But the offense, I think you felt a little better with Tyrod at quarterback, but the play calling with Engstrand just kind of left something to be desired. The fumble, it's like they left points on the field, the sack. You figure Brees's fumble 7, the sack before halftime is 3. They left some points out there, man.
Yeah, definitely. And just to the positives of the receiver room, I really liked what we're seeing out of Mechie. These last 2 games here, really, really good. Back-to-back weeks with touchdowns. 6 catches, 65 yards was the final line yesterday. Really good to see. They're open. Like him and A.D. Mitchell, they get open a ton.
Especially
it's just having that quarterback that can deliver them the ball. And more importantly, it's on the quarterback to get them that ball, on time accurately, which we saw Fields struggle with a little bit. And even there was a couple of those missed timing throws, which you hope get cleaned up as the year goes on between Tyrod and them. But also it's on them too to finish the plays. They both had their fair share of drop issues throughout their career. You saw it a little bit on Thursday night with A.D. Mitchell, but both look really, really good. They both look really promising. And that's a really good sign for the future, because you look at the way this wide receiver room kind of pans out next year moving forward with assuming a rookie quarterback. You have Garrett Wilson as your number 1 healthy, clearly. And then let's say you draft Carnell Tate as your 2. Can John Mechie then be your 3? A.D. Mitchell your 4, and can Arian Smith then show you something and maybe be your 5? And all of a sudden you take what has been a really rough year for this receiver room with a lot of moving pieces, and you start to feel better about it. So
no, and that's what you want.
Guys
like,
playing well is huge.
No, and it's a credit to Muji. If you look at Muji's trades he's made, they've all actually been pretty good. Like the guys he's brought in, you got Briggs, you got Briggs, you got Harrison Phillips, then you got Mechie, you get Mitchell. So offensively, they left some plays in the field, disappointed. Defensively, I was ridiculously surprised yesterday, especially in the first half, where to me, Harrison Phillips is emerging as a true leader on this defense. He is nasty. He's physical. He plays a lot of emotion, and he's playing hurt too, which is crazy. Yeah. You look at him. Briggs had the sack. Jermaine Johnson's getting disrupted. McDonald. You have Quincy Williams flying around. That benching clearly pissed him off. Sherwood played a little bit better, but they looked a lot more physical. They looked a lot more sideline to sideline. They were better. They weren't getting pushed around, and that to me was encouraging. Where you see that, and then you look at a lot of young players getting experience too. Malachi Moore's learning on the fly. A.Z. Thomas, you mentioned Tony Adams already, which is just whatever. But Stevens gave up the one big play. But they lost Quentin Williams, they lost Sauce Gardner. They really haven't missed a beat. They've actually probably played better at this point. Yeah. But they're playing a lot more physical, they're playing a lot more fast, making less mistakes, which is encouraging.
Yeah, they're playing a lot better, definitely. And they're against some good offenses, right? Baltimore and New England these last 2 games that easily could have been blowouts with some of the guys they're rolling out there. But yeah, you're seeing good things. Harrison Phillips and Juwan Briggs, those 2 trades look like absolute home runs for Muji, especially Briggs. He's been excellent. He's really taken over kind of a pass rushing role, especially since Quinnen got traded. He's really taken over with another sack yesterday, 3 sacks total, 20 pressures on the year. And he's only played, I think, 160 pass rushing snaps. So he's taken full advantage of his opportunities. AZ Thomas he
Learning.
made plays. He's had the penalties, but there's been a lot of
competitive penalties though. They're not. It's not like he's being like, listen, I'll take these penalties all year this year from him. Not that you want him, but like he's learning and gets very good receivers at being tested, and that's all you want. He's physical. He's not. It's not. The moment's not too big for him. Doesn't seem like.
Yes, you prefer take the AZ Thomas penalties over the Tony Adams penalties.
Or the Sauce Gardner penalties.
Yeah, or those. But yeah, you'd rather see it out of a young player learning than Tony Adams, who shouldn't be out there. We've talked enough about Tony Adams. Continuing to see Malachi Moore. Quincy's been playing. He looks a lot like 2023 Quincy.
Yep, he's flying around.
Since getting benched and Quinnen got traded, he's on a revenge tour here. But he's looked really, really good. He's flying around, which is good to see. Jermaine, Will McDonald. The next step, they just got to finish some of these plays. They get to the quarterback and then either a scramble or
there's
defense doesn't quite hold up in the back end and they're not able to finish, but they're around him.
To me, there was three. The second half is where it all fell apart. You had the Isaiah Oliver, I think it was a 3rd and 15. He had the pass interference. The Jamien Sherwood should have had Lamar Jackson sacked. He slid over his head, gave up that, and the next play they give a big pass. Then you did Tony Adams penalty. It was like just all comedy of errors. You're like, well, there's where the defense gives it up, but they kept fighting. Like they were under. And again, I understand this is not a loser mentality. It's like you're looking at the state of this team and where they're at. Where a lot of them could be quitting and not giving any kind of effort. They're playing their ass off. They're playing physical, and they're clearly undermanned. But those penalties, it was like 1, 2, 3. But the Sherwood miss of Lamar Jackson, dude, that could have been an enormous sack that changed the whole direction of that half.
Yeah, that was bad. Completely missed him, had him wrapped up, and Lamar kind of just threw him off of him. The two penalties that were killer, it was the Tony Adams penalty and even the Isaiah Oliver penalty. And that was also so killer because it's a 3rd and 15. It was a broken play. Lamar had to roll out. He chucked it downfield, like 34 yards downfield, turn your head, play the ball. And that's what's tough is because Isaiah Oliver's another one. He stinks. But him and Tony Adams, they're not going to be here next year. And that's just what tough is seeing those calls on those guys because they're just not here long term. So, like, what does it matter other than just frustration in the moment? But there is part of me that, like, the way Quincy is playing, now they won't do this, but you're not going to bring Sherwood and Quincy back. But, like, there is part of you that wonders if Quincy continues to play like this, do you keep him moving forward and make a change with Sherwood? And I don't think they will because it's kind of costly because of the contract. But
I don't think they will.
Quincy's playing really well. When Quincy's at his best, he's a beast.
Yeah, I'm thinking like now, I think he probably just playing his heart out now.
Yeah.
With good film on tape so he can make big money in the offseason. Yeah. I think his days are numbered at this point.
Yeah, and who even knows how much he actually wants to be back, right? Trading Quinnen.
That's what I think he's listen, he plays like this, you feel encouraged, and I'm not opposed to Steve Wilkes leaving either. I just think at this point, Quincy's like, all right, you bench me. I'm going to come back. I'm going to show you what I can do, and I'm going to leave. They're not going to tag him or anything. He's like, no, and he's going to go test free agency and be out of here. Yep. So but again, the defense is it's like, I don't like Steve Wilkes. I wouldn't be mind if he gets fired at the end of the season. You just move on to somebody different. But they did compete yesterday. They played the last couple of weeks. They play a lot much better on defense, a lot more sound tackling, a lot more physical. Again, it's amazing they have no interceptions. I don't know how that's even possible at this point. And it's funny because, in your back of your mind, you want the Jets to lose for draft position. But as the game's going on, I'm like, you want to win the game so bad. I'm like, what a great win that would be for this young team trying to figure things out. I'm like, can we please get a turnover? Anything. Just create something. And then you have Brees fumbles, and I'm like, well, there's that. But, like, how does this defense get nothing? Like, it's just remarkable at this point. They can't just turn. Like, usually you fall into an interception. Like, like one just comes into your hands miraculously. That's not even happening.
No. Yeah, I don't think they're going to get an interception all year. The thing, they're not even close. They had some close ones earlier in the year, right? The Steelers game with Brandon Stevens right through his arm where he slipped. There was a couple close ones. I mean, you did have the one go through Jarvis Brownlee's hands against New England, but that was kind of a
yesterday.
Yeah, he did. He played better back in the nickel.
What I like about him, his tenacity, man. Like, he does not. He is nasty in the run game. He's a willing tackler. Like, he brings it. He talks his shit too, but like that. You figure Brandon Stevens is a big time tackler. I think AZ Thomas probably has some pop too, where that's like, all right, now you know what Aaron Glenn's mold is for a corner. You don't want to be too aggressive where you get a lot of penalties, which was Brownlee's problem the last couple of weeks. But I think if with good coaching and good discipline, he's going to be a player, man.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. He's back in the nickel. He looked a lot better, and he's a good tackler, and he's a physical player and a thumper in that secondary. But it's crazy. The interceptions, like it's crazy the numbers when you dive into how, I don't even want to say unlucky because they're not even close to getting interceptions. But this interception drought is something that is
historic.
It's hard to do. Like, it's really hard to do what they're doing right now. And I think a lot of it is on Wilkes personally, because you look at the amount of times that they run man versus zone. When they blitz, they run, I think it was like 60%. When they run man, it's 35.9% of the time they run man when not blitzing. But when they do blitz, it's 60%.
Yeah.
I just think it's the amount of blitzing. I just don't think there's enough, I guess,
they're not getting, they're not even getting enough pressure to rattle a quarterback to force them into errant throws. Like, if you start beating up a quarterback, he gets happy feet, lobs one up, all that stuff, they're not really doing that consistently. They get him uncomfortable. Like, they had Lamar Jackson a couple of times running for his life out there, and he turned them into positive plays. But you're not like, you need a quarterback you just beat up, and you just get like, well, you know what, I'm done with this. They're not really getting it. But I'm kind of with D-Rock and everybody else. It's like, I just don't think Wilkes is the answer. I don't.
Yeah, his scheme's so vanilla, and the reality is, look at all of the quarterbacks that have torn up this defense. Lamar didn't tear them up yesterday, but like the worst games for this defense has come against the best quarterbacks, which shouldn't be a surprise because when they look at this defense and they look at some of the third down coverages,
they see it coming.
Yeah, they're licking their chops. It's so predictable, and there's no adjustments. It's been the same thing every week. Yesterday was actually probably the first time guys were running wide open all game. You didn't really see that.
Well, you think about it. Look at how many broadcasts. I think it was Greg Olson, Tony Romo. Like former players were saying, "No, we know what the play is." Like, they go calling the plays out. Like, wow, they're not changing anything. So, and that's a Wilkes thing. But the other thing too is it's surprising. I'm wondering if Aaron Glenn's getting a little bit more involved on the defensive side now. We're like, all right, listen, with an eye towards next year, be like, you know what? Wilkes is going to be gone next year. So I'm going to start getting my fingers on this defense a little bit more and having my say to kind of get what I want, because we're not going to be doing this shit next year.
Yeah. And you look at Wilkes, we talked about this a little bit last week. You just look at his career. He's been one and done in a lot of places. He doesn't last long in many places. Just going through the list, I put it together last week, just thinking about, the potential of firing him. He was Arizona, a little bit different because he was the head coach, but only 1 year in 2019. He was a one and done. And he was in Cleveland for a year as their DC. Then he went to college with Missouri for a year. Then he was in Carolina where he was the interim, only there for a year. Now, coach got fired, but still only a year. And in San Fran for a year. And then he was with Charlotte last year. He was out of the NFL. And now with the Jets, should be a year. He doesn't stay in places very long.
And being out of the NFL says a lot in a league that always regurgitates coordinators all across the NFL. Even if you're like a linebacker coach for a year, then become a coordinator. So Wilkes is definitely the answer. But the one thing I will say is that Banjo special teams has been legit, dude. Banjo has done a phenomenal job with the returners. I mean, Folk is having like a Pro Bowl year. The punter's been ridiculous. But Isaiah Williams, even the gunners are nasty. Like, they're playing a different brand of football on special teams, which we always gave Brant Boyer lasted how many freaking coaches here? He's been here forever. It seems like Banjo's has invigorated this group a little bit. They play a little nastier.
Yeah, Banjo's been excellent. What he's done with Isaiah Williams has been one of his biggest positive impacts, just turning him around from the nightmare against Miami to turning into a really, really good punt returner for this team. And then even Nwangu as well, who's, if he's healthy, an elite returner. But punter's been great. And punter's been great. And look, we always say this, a lot of people, when people don't want to talk highly about the punter and kicker, but the reality is when you don't have them, you're
miserable.
It's like a relief pitcher in baseball. It's brutal when you don't have one or they're struggling. We saw last year the impact of a Zerline down year. Folk's been excellent. And you give them credit for McNamara because they picked him out. Like, him and Kai Kroger came into camp. They were competing. McNamara was at the Bengals, I believe, training camp last year and was cut. They took a chance on him. They saw something in him, and he's turned into one of the better punters in the NFL, which is a really good thing. Yes,
Yeah.
the Xavier Gibson fumble. That's the only mistake they made, was letting him on the roster week 1.
Yeah, no. So overall, it's a loss. It's a disappointing loss. You never want to lose games. But to me, I didn't walk away angry or mad, like, oh, same old Jets, Aaron Glenn this. I'm like, didn't like the 4th and 2 play. Didn't like it at all. The sack before half, the penalties, the fumble. Like, there was things they made enough mistakes to lose the game. But they also gave you some nuggets of like, all right, there's some building blocks here. You're seeing they're not quitting. They're playing hard for the coach. You're seeing young players make plays, which is exactly what you want. And you want to see more of that. So I'm like, all right, it's a loss. Good for the tank. And I'm like, wasn't mad today, dude. Like, I was like, all right, this was a competitive loss. Like, you're cool. Like, whatever.
Yeah, no, there was the most frustrating point was just the way they hurt themselves. And you want to see that cleaned up. But at this point in the season, you're not expecting them to win these games. I mean, half the fan base is rooting for losses. Yep. It's just try and find some of these positives, some of these young guys, wide receivers, these guys step up, play well, and look for the future and look for answers at this point in the year to try and solve this thing moving into 26.
If you want to look for answers, I have the guy right here on hiatus. Like, this is part of the problem right here. This is the problem. It's like we're trying to find answers. We're trying to find answers, and you're on hiatus. There is no
offseason last time.
There is no break. We don't take breaks here. We're always finding answers every day.
You're running this show.
But then why are you on hiatus? You quit.
Hi, Armand.
You're part of the problem.
How you doing, Bubs?
You're part of the problem.
How's school going? Good?
Yeah, it's going good.
He's trying to change the subject. I'm not playing that game.
I'm
You're on
cordial.
hiatus.
It's called being cordial.
Why?
Not attacking your guests that come on.
I don't care about my guests. If you're going to say you're on hiatus,
it's
this is part of the problem. You're like the Saleh. You're part of the Saleh regime right now. We got to change your mindset. We've got to change your culture.
Saleh might get another coach.
Why don't you go get a drink while I talk to Bubs?
So when you watched the game yesterday, did you find yourself getting angry or disappointed, or you're like, you know what, they played competitive?
I was looking to see how these guys, some of these guys play, and I agree with them, with Bubs, with Mechie and Mitchell. They were open. They were getting open. The scheme is there. They're getting open.
Yep.
But there was that one play where Tyrod almost got intercepted because he just lofted the ball. They had to zip that in there. Guy was there. Why Brees wasn't in those plays on the in the final? I don't know. I get it. Sometimes I wonder. It's in the back of my mind. Is he doing it intentionally so he knows he'll guarantee the loss? Is he tanking? Purposely, giving some effort but doing a play here, and tanking just to have him see even more cap space to benefit. Yeah, we got enough.
I wish we had Braylon Allen here, because then you could say, listen, we wanted to get Braylon out. Like, Isaiah Davis just is.
He's not ready. He needs.
He's your third running back.
He's the third running back. He should be in different situations.
Third down
we should
back,
pass to him.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, pass or screen to him, because he's very fast on that one.
Yep.
But you're going up to the line. It's a decision I don't know they make sometimes. Sometimes I know they want to focus on the run a lot, but you just don't have the tools there. But at least we're seeing pieces stepping up. AZ Thomas looked good.
Yep.
The ends are looking good, right? The tackles.
Harrison Phillips is doing good.
Harrison Phillips, Briggs.
Briggs been good.
He's been fantastic. Why are they moving McDonald around in the line and upsetting the offensive line is beyond me. They're just leaving him. When they were moving him around, he was getting in there, Yep. So that that's on the defensive scheme. There's no ingenuity when it comes to that. There's no it's just basically vanilla what he knows, and that's it. This is the old style way. We're just gonna go end to end. And I mean, they contained Lamar, even though he was hurt, they still contained him. They didn't want to. They didn't
They
want
looked prepared for sure. Like they
Right.
knew like they got good pressure. They had a spy. They looked prepared for him. At
Yeah,
least.
no, they were somewhat competitive. I think they didn't adjust well to the second half when Baltimore made some adjustments, because they let him run right down the field.
Well, most of that was guided by penalties too, though. They
Yeah.
had like 3 enormous penalties.
But when you're out of position or anything, you're not that. That's
Yep.
that's also when you got young guys just making, you're going to see it. But
I think
we
Jermaine Johnson's
expect
coming on. Jermaine Johnson's coming on too, though. He's being a lot more explosive.
He put some pressure on, forcing him to make some bad throws or just throwing it away.
Yep.
There's some hope. I mean,
But here's your question.
Yeah.
Are the Jets, do you feel, based on yesterday, do you see the Jets as an overall team, as a team that's slowly but surely improving?
Yes, with some pieces.
Positivity.
Now, Muji's making some good moves. Right?
Very good moves.
You got some good money. You got some good picks. You got to hit, of course, on the quarterback. But you want to hit the quarterback and give them guys that are seasoned, right?
Yep.
Because you don't want rookies playing with rookies, really, for the most part. Like you said, as many weapons. I'm in the belief you got to try to sign Brees. It helps a young quarterback. That's me.
But I
people
think
say you could get another running back.
Yeah, but he's going to say, I don't want to be signed. I want to test free agency.
Well, that's fine, but you make an effort.
Tag him. You
make an effort. You try to sign him, whatever. It would be good for if they're going to draft a young quarterback. It's good to have a piece like that in the backfield. So they got to start using also the tight end. You draft them second round. I mean, there's a reason. I don't know why the tight end is not used as much in the offensive scheme. I don't know, unless he's not getting open. But guys are getting open. That's the thing that gets me. Guys are getting open. But we just don't have that quarterback that can read right away,
Well, I mean, but like Tyrod Taylor's played this game for 45 years.
I know.
Like, how hard can this offense be to not see wide open
receivers? Maybe he gets better with more reps with the team. Remember, this is only his second start.
That's what I'm saying. I'm hoping as it plays out, they open it up more and they get more confidence in him. Yeah.
If you start seeing some gelling with Tyrod and he doesn't get hurt and he continues to play, you're going to start seeing some better play, and then you could see, if the scheme is working and you got something to look forward to.
Yep.
But listen, even though I'm a hiatus, I see some positivity.
Be a Giant fan.
Wow. Such hatred, and 3 days away from Thanksgiving, and you.
Well, you're talking like a turkey right now.
Yeah, you see that?
See that?
Where's your goat?
Right here. Want to hear? Hold on.
Yeah. Play with the goat. There you go. But I'm going to keep it short. I just wanted to get on.
You're on hiatus.
Wish you guys and everybody in the chat a fantastic Thanksgiving. Be thankful for the people that are there. Treasure the moments that you spend with your family and your friends. That's what it's all about, not just the food. Just have a great time and remember what's most important in your life is your friends and family.
So when is your hiatus over? Just so we know.
When you'll see when I put my name back on there. That's when you'll know.
So now you're that guy now.
Yeah. Okay. Play with your goat.
Have a good night. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, man.
Thank you so much.
See, he tries to come in all calm and collected and all like you can see behind him, man. He's just not prepared anymore. He's not doing his job. He used to have all this cap information, contract information, all that stuff. He has none of it. So the one thing that's getting really, really interesting though, because now we all have an eye towards next year, right? Obviously, looking at quarterbacks. I'm watching quarterbacks I never even thought I'd watch before. Yeah. And it's becoming more and more apparent to me that I think Ty Simpson's not coming out, and I don't think Dante Moore's coming out. So now it's going to be Mendoza or bust for the Jets, for some, not for me. But that makes things really interesting when you see, like, if they keep losing, you're not as bad. I think they're, fourth in the tankathon right now? They're not too far off. Yep. But listen, I'm tired of losing too. I get it, but they're losing. This season is lost. But if you're looking for your quarterback, a lot of these guys are either not impressing or they may go back to school, and the quarterback class may not be as vast as everybody thinks, where it could be one quarterback taken in the early first round, maybe some in the late. It gets really, really interesting, man.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see once the dust settles, and then you'll also have your risers during the combine, and you'll have your risers during the pro days, as always. So I'm sure there's a couple guys that are kind of lower now in terms of the noise around them that'll raise up, once we kind of get to February in that March range, about a month out from the draft. I still stand on, if you love a guy so much, like if they love Mendoza so much, right now you look at, and the Saints are ahead of them at 3, and then it's Tennessee and the Giants at 1, 2.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee's not going to take a quarterback, and the Giants obviously aren't taking a quarterback.
Nope.
So if either of those teams are looking to move out, stockpile more picks, and you love Mendoza so much, you move up and get him. And I'm still in the mindset of, like, if you take a quarterback this year and it doesn't totally work out, that shouldn't remove you from taking a quarterback next year, even in the event of.
It depends if you're taking him, though.
Yeah, where they are taking him, and I mean, who knows at that point? Like, this is looking way down the road, but if they would to take a quarterback this year and they win 4 games next year, there's a good chance Muji and Glenn are getting canned anyway. So you're probably in a situation where the new regime would be taking another quarterback at that point anyway. That's like worst case scenario,
me, like,
way down the road. But
I mean, this is what I'm looking at now is, like, if you want to, if Mendoza's your guy, like, we're all studying Mendoza, we're all watching him, and he's got some good things, he's got some bad things. To me, it's like, if you're a quarterback that I'm trading up for, because in my demented world, I think the Jets are going to win at least 2 more games. I think they're going to find a way to win games where they're going to probably be in that 5 or 6 spot where, they're looking for a quarterback. There's a lot of other teams looking for quarterbacks too that may also be infatuated with Mendoza. If it's Mendoza or bust, this guy's got to be a slam dunk, dude. You can't like him or really. You have to be like, this is our franchise guy. He's the face of our franchise. Like, he has to be that guy. Because if not, you don't reach for it. You don't make moves to appease the fans, or don't go like. You have to have a plan. Like, all right, you know what? We may go Jeremiah Love at 6, whoever it is. But, like, you may say, you know what? We may go wide receiver at 6. We may go defensive end at 20-something with the Colts pick, and we get a quarterback in round 4. Like, that may happen too. There are many different ways you can get a quarterback, but right now it's like, to say Mendoza is a slam dunk must-have for the Jets. Me personally, I'm not there yet. I'm not willing to mortgage my entire draft for him.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing is, if they love him enough to trade up, then you have to be right about that at the end of the day, because you can't, right,
especially when you have this many holes. Like, you have these draft resources, which is great, but you want to make sure that you're getting the most value for these picks too. To have 5 first-round picks, you better leave. You need to have studs coming out of that.
Yeah, and the whole thought on picking a quarterback in the middle rounds, certainly you've seen that brought up as well. I mean, I know somebody brought up at the USC quarterback.
Yeah,
I think it's Jaden Maiava.
Yeah, I watched him on Saturday.
Good player, but probably not a top, as of now, first-round pick. But who knows, right? These guys, it's only November. I mean, I remember going back to the Zach Wilson draft. People had Kyle Trask getting taken in the top 5 back in November.
Before the season started, look at all the players. There's Carson Beck and Drew Aller, all these guys. All like, oh, slam dunk, you got to get him. And look how much change as the season starts. I think also when the college playoff starts too, that's going to change a lot of views too. Where, all right, you've had these good games, bad games. Now you're under the spotlight of a playoff game against two very good teams, good opponents. That's when it gets interesting too, man. Because then you see how do you show up there. You get evaluated by that as well.
Yeah, it'll be kind of the Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields showdown. Yeah, again, we get
it's gonna be interesting, especially if the Jets win some games, man. It's gonna get real interesting because if you're sitting at 5 or 6,
it's tough, and they've got some games against teams that are potentially in the quarterback market. You got the Falcons coming up. Well, the Falcons don't even own their picks, so that doesn't matter. They got the Rams pick, which is a joke. They won't even have a first-round pick, so scrap that. But you got the Saints, who will be right in they're 1 ahead of you right now at 3 wins. So you lose that game, that puts you up there. And then we'll see what happens with Tennessee and the Giants. Neither of those teams are taking quarterbacks, but still ahead of you. So and even some of these other teams, like behind the Jets, Raiders, who could look to trade up. There's a couple quarterback needy teams.
There's a couple teams that are going to, even the Cardinals.
See what happens with the Cardinals. Yeah.
They're getting rid of Kyler. He's not coming back.
Yeah.
Raiders. Yep.
I would throw the Browns in there, but I guess they're going to give Shador a chance here moving forward.
Might as well.
So we'll see. But Browns will be more decided, I think, at the end of the year. So they're kind of 50-50, I would say now, depending on what they get out of Shador the rest of the way. Maybe they're probably more of the team of maybe drafting a quarterback in the middle rounds to pair with Shador potentially. Yep. So it'll be interesting, but that's the whole tricky part of the draft is like this year's draft, everybody loved it. It was loaded. That's the risk of then punting towards next year's draft. And that's the whole thing is if you don't love a guy, then you don't want to reach. But then if you do wait,
the class
to say next year's draft, then it's 2028's the year. We've kind of this is now 2 years in a row we're doing this where last year it was 2026. Now it's 2027. Then what? 2027, 2028. You know, you only have so much time here, and they've got a ton of picks. They gotta hit on them, or else they're gone in a year.
Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up, man? What the hell is a Club Wrestling Happy Hour?
So it's me and my wife. So I'm Nick. She's Nicole. So it's a Nick Club. So yeah. Well, if you're a wrestling fan, you'd get it's like a New Japan. It's like an inside joke on wrestling.
Oh.
If you're a wrestling guy.
How you doing, man? What are your thoughts on the game yesterday?
I thought they were going to, honestly, I thought they would win the game. I really had a feeling. Hold on, let me change my background.
His screen is wild, dude. It's like
yeah, dude, I'll help
you.
You
drowning.
Yeah.
He's like sinking. He's coming back to words over. There you go.
There you go. No, I honestly thought that they might win yesterday's game just because they had the extra 2-3 days to prepare, and Lamar. That's the type of game that the Jets win because of the fact that Lamar. I don't think Lamar's a good passer at all. So. It's a type of game. He's coming back from an injury. Like he's rusty. They could absolutely steal that game. So to me, there was points in the game. I really want to root for Aaron Glenn because I really think Aaron Glenn's going to be the guy. And I can't like he's made so many poor decisions, and it's so like disturbing. Like it's like tragically bad that I'd be like. Who are you? Like, because for however many 20 years in coaching, like he should really understand some of the most basic time management situations that I'm like really baffled that he's making these decisions on. Yeah,
I mean the 4th and 2 yesterday pissed me off. Like some of it's just like some of it's like all right, first time head coach, he's learning. Some things it's just like having a feel for the game, understanding what's going on. He doesn't have. It's just it's yeah, Bubs.
Yeah, no, I just don't like, and There was that stretch in the Cincy game and even Cleveland. Did they go for it against Cleveland? I forget off the top of my head, but even the Cincy game specifically, you can't be half and half in terms of aggressive, not aggressive. You either got to be aggressive or you're not aggressive. Like you can't take a delay game punt and then later in the game in a worse spot on 4th and 2, not have your best player out there, number 1 in Breece Hall, and then say we're going for it. Yeah. Like that's just stupid. And I think he's gotten better with the 4-minute stuff, right? He says 4 minutes of the first half, 4 minutes at the end of the game belong to the coach. Before this, earlier in the year, that was awful. Whether it was Carolina, whether it was Denver, those 2-minute drills to end the half were terrible. The Dallas before halftime, they collapsed. That was really concerning. They've been better with that. They haven't had these, these first half collapses or these awful end of half drives. But the aggressiveness, it's pick a side. Either be aggressive or you're not aggressive. You lean towards more the conservative. It's so 50-50. I don't like that.
To me, it's the timing.
Kind of like he's just lost.
Yeah, the timing is too.
The timing is so bizarre. Like I get like Dan Campbell's like against the grain in some extent.
Dan Campbell's approach in the Eagle game was ridiculous. It literally cost the game. That was stupid.
But also, like, the thing is, like, he's 3 years into his tenure. Like, you have different talent, and I get that. So you have to also coach differently to the talent that you have.
Yeah.
And you have such young talent and, like, a veteran stopgap quarterback who's not going to throw any, like, he's not going to throw any dimes. Like, Tyrod's not going to throw 30-yard bombs to anybody. So, like, the situation and the play calls is very bizarre to me. And like, that's what's really concerning. I feel like the situational game management would be much better. And that's really so concerning to me with Garrett Glenn. Because I feel like 20 years in coaching, whatever it is, like studying everything, Parcells, Disciple, like everything else, he hasn't learned shit.
But it's, I mean, it's interesting. Like the one thing you wonder about is not having like a veteran on the offensive side of the ball to help the coaching staff out. Like you have Engstrand's new, Hyden's new, all these guys are inexperienced guys where it's like, you wish you had that prominent offensive voice here to kind of give him guidance. I think Steve Wilkes is giving him guidance. Steve Wilkes is not good at his job. So it's like, he's
exactly.
And that's the one thing you wonder if like Aaron Glenn's a smart man. Like I want to root for him too, but like you got to figure as they self-scout themselves at the end of the year, be like, you know what, this coaching staff, which I put together may not be as advertised. I've got to make adjustments to get better out of myself and my team.
Yeah. Oh no, just to add, sorry, not to cut you off, but
no,
that's kind of what Dan Campbell did when you look back on Detroit, right? He made adjustments after year one. He got rid of Anthony Lynn and moved on to Ben Johnson. That's what you have to do now with Wilkes. You have to make that change and make a change offensively. We talked about it all. They should have did this in the offseason. I don't know why they went into it with no real – I mean, Scott Turner has play calling experience, but that's it. Like you need a Todd Haley, somebody like that with head coaching experience.
Get North Turner to overlook this. He's like somebody, anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, they have to adjust. The Banjo's good. Engstrand yesterday was a bad day, but he's shown more good, I would say, than bad.
Yeah, but here's a question. But here's a question to both of you though. It's like Engstrand showed some good, some bad. Some play calling yesterday was I just thought made no sense. At what point do we feel comfortable with him to say, okay, here is your Fernando Mendoza. Go groom the quarterback and make him great. I don't have that confidence whatsoever right now at all. He could be a decent play caller and creative, but is he going to groom a young quarterback? No.
Yeah, that's the benefit of adding a veteran to the staff, but also you hope that the guy's running wide open, ideally a rookie, if you get the right rookie quarterback, can find the guys wide open. Well, it's a mix with Engstrand. Engstrand's very.
Look at Caleb Williams. Like Ben Johnson comes in there. I don't think Caleb Williams is any good. I think he's absolute dog shit. I think he's going to end up being a big bust in the NFL. And yeah, but it's coaching, because if you put him in the right, look at Geno Smith. Geno Smith is a prime example. Like everyone's booing him out of Vegas, and he's
Chip
flipping
Kelly
off the fans.
Chip Kelly got fired today too, though. So it was
but Pete Carroll won a Super Bowl, did he not? So I mean, say what it is, but like you still have a Super Bowl winning head coach who put a coordinator in place and still couldn't help you. I don't know, man. Like you may not be that good. Yeah. Like Seattle may have just maximized their ROI on what he was and just picked up a better quarterback in the situation. Like, I don't know. It's really interesting because like I feel like there's so much talent on this team that they could build around, but they don't have any vision of what they want to do.
Well, can the quarterback play be holding it all back? Where if you had a more competent guy, Justin Fields isn't a competent passer by no means, and Tyrod Taylor is a shell of what he used to be. He's still decent, but like if they had a guy a level above that, would we seeing much better offense because the guy can read the field and spread the ball around? Would that help?
So to me, like, no, 100%. Like any quarterback, like it's you touch the ball 40 times a game, so 100% you're going to help if you're that good. And this is going to be unpopular opinion, but I don't like Mendoza. I think this kid's going to be a huge bust.
Oof. Some people have concerns. That's not you're not alone, man.
I just get this feeling that like he's surrounded by a very good team. He's coached very well. Like he's just going to be a huge bust. I like Dante Moore better. I like Ty Simpson a lot better than him.
Ty Simpson's fallen apart the last couple of weeks, man.
He threw 2 picks against Eastern Illinois. Those were rough.
He's had a rough couple of weeks.
But like
I think Ty Simpson's got a ton of talent. I think he needs another year. Like this time next year, I think he's going to skyrocket.
Yeah, but like that's my point. It's like I don't love any of the quarterbacks this year. I think they all need to take some time to sit. But like, same thing with like, to some extent, the Giants' plan, like with Jackson Dart, like you had 3 quarterbacks, and like even though you skipped the depth chart when you did it, you can still sign a veteran quarterback, maybe even a decent backup that's everyone knows is a veteran backup, and sit this person for 6 to 10 games to get ready. And
Jameis Winston's the perfect fit for them. That's a perfect guy to have. Not for the Jets. He's already under contract with the Giants, but like that's the kind of guy
I would love him for the Jets.
Yeah,
I would love Jameis for the Jets. Is he got a 2-year deal?
Yep.
Yeah, because
like $4 million or something. It's cheap too.
Yeah, I think it's 4 per, like 8
It's
over
cheap,
the
man.
2. Yeah.
Yeah, like he's the type of guy like I would be 100% okay with. Like he knows his role, he plays his role, and and
he's not going to hold your offense back. That's the whole thing. Like he can make all the throws. He's going to throw his interception, but like you could run your offense and see what you have in your receivers and your play caller.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I love about him is he's one. I don't know much about like some of the younger quarterbacks coming out, but like he's one of the few people. Like Russell Wilson was the same mold. Patrick Mahomes to some. I don't know if he played dual sports, but his father was a baseball athlete, right? Like there's some like symbiosis between being a dual sport athlete, especially with baseball and football. Like I think there's some, like if you're a pitcher, like Jameis was a pitcher, like there's some accuracy issues, like in throwing, like there's some level of like if you play dual sports, I'm really interested in that. Like Kyler Murray, like you're a center fielder, no, like, but there's different, skill sets to each position that if you're a dual sport athlete, there's some interest to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's this quarterback thing is going to be interesting, man. It is going to be so interesting because we're going to be debating about this for freaking 5 months. It's going to be nuts.
It'll be so you get to the draft and it'll just be like quarterback. Just you don't even want to hear the word quarterback.
And the thing is, it's like if these guys go back to school, like Dante Moore and Simpson go back to school, this class gets a lot thinner, and then you just don't want to see the Jets get desperate and make a dumb move.
Yeah, I don't care who comes out this year. I don't want them trading up for anybody.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, stay where you're at. I don't care if you feel like the best position is quarterback. Great. Like, but if it's edge rusher, take it. Like to me, this year is about building the team. Like, you have so many picks. Don't mortgage it. Just
and so many holes.
Yeah,
they're not one player away right now.
No.
So, Nick, thanks for calling, man. We appreciate it.
Amen.
Later, dude.
As always.
All right.
I remember those days of the whole Rodgers thing where it was, we're all in, and then you were just, all we need is tight end, wide receiver, safety.
It's the same thing. Like think about how we break down games now. It's like, well, we need probably at least one receiver. You want you may need 2 linemen, you may need a safety, 2 linebackers, another defensive. Like we have so many holes, dude. And there's so many areas you want to upgrade your talent.
And they have the picks to do it and the cap space to do it. And Muji has shown that he's more than willing to trade. So they can go down a lot of avenues to try and fill this thing out here over the next really 2 years with these 5 draft picks and cap
the
space.
Jets can't do, and what are they now? 2-9? What's their record? 2-9?
2-9, yeah.
So the Jets have played 11 games and no interceptions, and the Panthers have 2 in the first half. It's just, come on, man. You just can't make it up, man. It is crazy.
It's hard to do what they're doing.
What's up, man? Hey, you got light back in your house.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, I turned the light on. I decided, I'm trying to save money. It just doesn't work well for a screen. So coming out of this game, it's been interesting. Did a lot of thinking about it. I didn't come out angry. I came out kind of like I wish it had been more fun because honestly, it wasn't that much fun. But watching it, they do look better. I mean, there's a lot to be said. Those 2 young receivers, Muji looks like he's like, the rug. He's been in a rug auction or something. The guy's great. He may end up ruining whatchamacallit in Philadelphia. Howie Roseman. He might be that good. I think those.
Another interception. Sorry, 3rd interception for the Panthers.
Go back to Mac Jones.
Brock Purdy falling apart. No, but you're right. They definitely Muji. Like you look at it, like it started off rough. I think their first move that backfired on him was getting Fields. All right. And then, your initial foray into free agency wasn't ideal with the wide receiver group. Look at all the guys they signed. Stone Smart, special teams guy, we talked about it. Tyler Johnson, Josh Reynolds, none of these guys have panned out. But they pivoted. They owned their mistakes. They pivoted. They made mistakes made moves since then that have all seemed to be panning out, which is encouraging.
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, I don't know what the dynamics were preseason, why they got the guys he did. Obviously, Reynolds was probably Glenn. There was probably a large part where he had a lot more hand, and maybe he's given Muji a lot more latitude. And working with the coaching, the scouting staff and stuff. But he's done a good job, and I was happy watching that. It was nice watching young receivers starting to shine a little bit. I mean, Mechie looks really, really good. He could be a number two. He could be a number two, and they were getting open out there. That's the thing. I kept hearing, it pissed me off. I kept hearing from all the field supporters, oh, it's not his fault. The receivers couldn't get open. Well, those guys came in there, they got open, and you couldn't hit them. I mean, the point is that these guys, that means the scheme, whatever he's got out there is working. And I think I'm optimistic about that. I mean, I think Glenn is getting a culture change there. The players are buying in. They're not giving up. They are playing hard. They're playing aggressive. Is Glenn's play calling the best? His game management? That 4th and 2, and the thing about that was you can tell he's trying to imitate friggin' Dan Campbell. He's got to stop that. He was told by Parcells. He was told by Peyton. Glenn quoted them. He said, be yourself. Well, he's not being himself.
Nope.
He's trying to be Dan Campbell. I understand that he's a defensive coach. He wants to be aggressive, and defensive coaches are by nature not. But you've also got to be like, you've got to be there. You've got to know when to do it in context. We always used to get mad at Todd Bowles. They'd be down 2 scores late in the 4th quarter. He'd be on the 45-yard line of the opponent, and he'd friggin' punt on a 4th down. You don't do that. And that's the thing. You don't want that extreme either. You want to be somewhere in the middle. I mean, the real question here, and this is the thing, watching all this draft talk and tanking, the Jets do have a dilemma, unfortunately. They just don't have a quarterback. And you look at the Giants, they've got a lot better because they do have a quarterback. It makes it so much easier to fill in personnel. The Jets have personnel and a quarterback. And now they're faced with a bunch of decisions, and none of them, they all can fail very spectacularly. They can try to draft in the draft. And even Mendoza, people have this idea, you draft the number 1 guy, he comes in the league, and he's going to burn the league up. He doesn't need any help. He's going to be fine. That's what Mike McCagnon thought. Mike McCagnon drafted what he thought was the best player and didn't realize the guy may not be a fit. They've got to be a fit, and you've got to figure out, first of all, what is your offensive scheme? Right now, we don't even know. Angstran's scheme is high school level football. I played high school football. This is. Well,
I think, but don't you think that's? But I think a lot of that was because Justin Fields was so bad, though.
Well, I understand.
That's why you want Tyrod to play, to see what this offense actually is.
I mean, how much can Tyrod do? I don't know, but Tyrod's been around long enough. He can handle a more complex offense. He can handle this stuff. And the thing was, Angstran wasn't doing it. And he came out very cautious. He's got to realize there's nothing to be cautious about because the Jets are not trying. This is not about winning anymore. They know that. They'll try. The players want to win. And I'm not saying tank, but they're realizing that the real value is, what am I going to do for next year? Well, guess what? We've got to evaluate Angstran too. We got to see, can he come up with a scheme? Is it clever? If he's calling a high school offense and that's all he's calling, then I'd really be concerned because you ain't going to win with that. Nope. You can't win. It's the same reason I don't like what's normally portrayed as a run-first offense, where it's run because you're covering for a passing. No, it's run setting up the passing. And if you don't have that, so here comes the question, what do you do about a quarterback? We can say next year, they can't have a bad year next year. Glenn can't take a mulligan next year and say, you know what, Detroit took 4 years. They've got to be better.
But I can dispute that though. What's a bad year? Like 3 or 4 wins?
A bad year would be right. I'm going to say, let's say 4 wins. If they come in next year, they should be at the level that they can win 7 or 8 games and be competitive in those. Like we talked about this year. Everybody talked about that for this year. It's a transition year. We'll win 7 or 8. We'll be competitive, but we're not going to win because we don't have a quarterback. We don't necessarily have a quarterback. That turned into shit. Okay, fine. So for next year, though, they've got to show significant improvement. And the thing is, this is now Glenn's team. He can't sit back and say it's all Joe Douglas's fault.
Yeah.
Well, but the thing is, they'll have to be better next year because they have a lot more talent. You're gonna have a ton of cap space and a ton of quality draft picks. So
yeah, well, that's the other thing. I mean,
the influx of talent should result in wins.
Well, that's the other thing. Yeah, but you know what? You're assuming, and you can't win without talent. Don't get me wrong. You're not going to win with a bunch of bozos. But the other hand is you can have a great team, and if you don't have the coaching, you aren't going to win either.
Well, that's the X factor in all
if
this.
you don't have a halfway talented quarterback, I don't care. And that's going to come the question. So next year, there's all these options, right? You can draft a quarterback, hope they're good, hopefully sit them and don't let Woody and Jaime jump around and say start them. Let them sit out, see if they're any good. If they have to sit out a whole year, they'll sit out. But that's one of the things I'm against drafting somebody like Mendoza. You've got a hyped quarterback. Friggin' well, Woody and Jaime are trying to justify raising ticket prices and charging $100 for parking and sell more tickets. He wants hype. You can't do that. Mendoza, I don't think he'll be ready. And it's stupid. There's no reason to. We're not expecting.
But the thing is, like, you would hope that you're right though. The Jets got to sell tickets, but you'd hope that, just say in a world they get Mendoza, knowing that going into the draft they want him, you would sign a competent veteran quarterback that is the guy that says, you know what, Mendoza's not playing until he's ready. This guy's going to play. If you don't like it, we don't fucking care because we're not forcing him into a mess. Because as an organization, we've already learned this before. We've seen firsthand how to ruin quarterbacks.
Yeah. Well, we hope. And the thing is, I'm not saying it's going to come down to, this is something we talked about when they hired Glenn. Is Glenn going to be strong enough to tell Woody?
That's a good question.
And is he going to be able to get Spielman and everybody else to tell Woody and Jaime, stay the hell out, especially Jaime, stay the fuck out of it. If there's anybody in the Jets, I'm telling you, there's anybody in the Jets organization that's the whatever the snake in the grass, it's Elhai.
It's a fair question, man, because I have this weird feeling though with the power structure the way it is with Glenn, Muji, Spielman. I think Woody Johnson's like, all right, football guys making football decisions. I think maybe it's my blind faith at this point. I just think they have their vision for next year, and Woody's gonna give them a chance to play it out. But if it doesn't start working out, and this is 2-13 at one point next, then like, well, you know what? Now I want to do what I want to do.
Well, that'll happen. I mean, unfortunately, it also means Glenn's out the door and stuff. But this is what I mean. We need to have a good year. And the thing is, you've got a couple of different options, right? We've talked about this ad and find them. You can draft a quarterback. You can draft, a rookie quarterback, hire a decent veteran, whoever's out there, and you can name names. It doesn't matter. Some quarterback that at least is a start, has been a backup, might have been a starter at some point. Maybe Tyrod, 7 or 8 years ago.
Exactly. Younger version of Tyrod. Yep.
Tyrod when he's 30, 31 would have been perfect. Jameis Winston, you're right, is perfect.
Or
and he's
Andy Dalton when he was younger. Yep.
He'll make the fans happy because, Jameis Winston, at least you're going to get something out of him. Might throw picks, but at least it's fun.
Yep.
But the point is, because the other thing is having that quarterback there, Engstrand's got no excuse. He can't sit there and say, I'm babying Justin Fields. So that's a possibility. There's the possibility that you get a veteran quarterback, and then if you're thinking that 27 is better, I mean, obviously 27 is supposed to be stuffed with quarterbacks. Right now, it looks like there's going to be a hell of a lot out there. Manning may be better. I wouldn't get him, but Manning is probably going to be a lot better.
Getting better now.
You've got, he is. He looked like a beast. You've got Simpson. You've got Moore. You've got other guys that
it's almost like that's the way. It's almost like that's the way to go, dude. If you think about what he's saying, though, but you're right, because you think about all these guys that, in theory, going back to school, where you have, Moore and Simpson and Manning year 2. It's like, just say I don't want to get Kyler Murray. I'm going to fight with Ian about that tomorrow. But a guy like that for next year, say, listen, the Jets are going to use their draft picks for everything but quarterback. Take a flyer on a 4th round pick, but use that high value assets for your receiver, your pass rusher, your all that shit. And then say, you know what, 2027, we already have a veteran here that the kid can learn from. And then it's not the worst.
There's a lot of there's a lot of pieces to that. But if you can find the right veteran, then you can have somebody that gives you enough of performance that, as long as the coaching's halfway decent, which is a question, because you're also testing out Engstrand at that point.
Who the hell's that veteran?
Well, that's going to be the question. I mean, I don't know. It's really going to depend who's out there. And of course, Kyler Murray may be out there. but I wouldn't touch him with, honestly,
want him.
I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot
Yeah.
pole. Because the other thing might be, Glenn might think, for example, he's our quarterback of the future because Glenn loves running quarterbacks apparently, and he's like, so he gets Kyler
I mean,
Murray. Who,
Glenn's fastest way to win is bringing a veteran quarterback. That's his fastest way to win because it's like, all right, there's no learning curve, there's no rookie shit. It's like, all right, just say you're going to see Kirk Cousins this weekend.
Assuming they're good enough. I mean, again, assuming they're good enough. Murray
That's
has
the thing.
Murray to give him a whatever is like, yeah, there's something there. He's athletic and stuff, but he threw a lot of picks. He's got a reputation. He may not be good for the clubhouse because he's got a reputation.
Not known for his work ethic.
Not knowing that's a lot, and Glenn ain't going to go for that.
And
So
he's
the
hurt
point
all the
is,
time.
it may
He's
not
hurt
make
too.
sense. But there's not. The problem is the veterans that are out there are mostly going to be backups. You just don't get a good veteran. The Goff thing with whatchamacallit.
Well,
my
dream is that this Philadelphia circus keeps getting bigger and bigger, and they trade Jalen Hurts. Then I'm down. I'm telling you, the Philadelphia Eagles are a mess right now.
Yeah, they are. There's a mess going on there. Supposedly, Lurie isn't happy with him. I mean, I don't know. But the point is, Hurts as a quarterback. Hurts has.
I wish I could complain about an 8-3 team.
Yeah, and won the Super Bowl. They won 2 Super Bowls in the last 8 years, 7 years, whatever it is.
Made it to 3.
Super Bowl. The thing is, if you have the right team around them. I am not a fan of run first teams, but yes, it can work. And Philadelphia also, in all fairness, though, had the perfect team for that because you had a lights out defense, you had a lights out offensive line, which they don't have this year. You had great receivers, so when you needed to throw, you had it. Hurts is good enough. He can throw. People are saying he can't. He's not Justin Fields. Hurts can read a defense and stuff. I saw him do it. He's not that bad.
Oh, he's light years ahead of Justin Fields.
He's a good quarterback. Yes, he can run, but he also can throw the ball. So yeah, he would not. If you could get him, it would be a no-brainer. If you could get him, as long as you're not, totally mortgaging your future with everything, we got to give.
But hold on, but Bubs, how much would you give up to get Jalen Hurts?
It'd have to be a first.
I do 2 firsts. I would do 2 firsts.
You'd probably have to give up a first
for a
this year,
proven
maybe
quarterback, 2 firsts.
I would do
probably
that
this year, next year.
Because look at these names we're talking about now. We're talking about Marcus Mariota, Gardner Minshew, Trey Lance. What are we doing with Trey Lance?
There's three former Jets sitting out there: Zach Wilson, Flacco, and Rodgers.
Trey Lance.
Well, Rodgers is not going to be. Rodgers is gone.
I'm just playing around. I'm just kidding.
But yeah, no, it'd be funny if we did. I mean, and Wilson, come on. I mean, the point is that there's nobody. Mariota has
Mike White.
Yeah, we might as well start.
Best quarterback we've had since the one Fitzpatrick year.
Yeah, I mean, the point is that it's not an easy choice. This is why the quarterback is so friggin' important. It'd be great if we already had it because that makes things a lot easier. When teams have a quarterback, the Titans are garbage, but they supposedly have a quarterback. He probably is. I've heard people say, well, he can maybe get Lawrence. Come on, why? The guy's done. He's not.
Oh, I mean, Trevor Lawrence isn't done, dude. He's so young.
He's not. Yeah, but wait a minute. He's been in the league 5 years, right?
Yeah, but hold on.
He still hasn't shown. Though. He was supposed to be a generational talent.
So what? It didn't work out, but then he goes somewhere else. He can be rejuvenated. I'm not. Hold on.
Yeah, he's been through multiple coaches.
Yeah, Urban Meyer was a complete disaster.
He's got Liam Cohen down there. He was supposed to be one of the better offensive coordinators. The guy helped Baker Mayfield find himself.
But Lawrence, would you want Trevor Lawrence?
Personally, I don't like Trevor Lawrence.
You don't like Trevor Lawrence either?
No, I think
he's 26 years old.
Yeah, but
he's
age
just
doesn't mean
so
anything.
Average. Like he can get you to 9. Like I don't think you're not. If you're going to trade for a quarterback like a Trevor or a Hurts, he's got to be your answer. I don't think Trevor's your answer. I think Trevor's best for being a 1 year. I don't think he's very good actually at all. And he hasn't really gotten better with Liam Cohen, which has been kind of a surprise.
I'm not sure Cohen's going to want to keep him either, and that's going to be a question if Cohen wants to dump him.
Hold on, Bo Nix has been struggling this year too. What are we talking about?
Oh, they're both. Yeah, they're both.
I mean, the point is, we look at the quarterbacks. Who's it going to be? And the only way you could get a Trevor Lawrence, and I'm going to use a hypothetical, you'd have to have you'd have to have like an offensive coordinator who really, really knows how to build a young quarterback. Engstrand ain't it. If you've got somebody that's been a wizard, you got somebody in there that knows how to do it, who thinks it goes to Glenn and says, hey, this kid's really got it. And we can get him, we can get a flyer on him because Cohen doesn't want him. Right? What do you do? What's this, Bud? You even sniffing laughing gas again?
No, the chat's just funny as shit.
Yeah,
Are you just
Michael
looking at the
Penix.
people are coming up with?
Yeah.
Let's get
Michael,
Joe Namath in there. I mean,
we're just
the point is that here's the thing, and I don't want to run on too long. I'm already running too long. But basically, with this whole team, it's going to be, first of all, with Glenn, the other half of it is the coaching. And my take right now is Engstrand, somebody asked me, I said, I don't hate him. I don't love him. I haven't seen enough from him. I think there's potential there, but we haven't seen anything with his play calling. He was crippled by Fields. He's got Tyrod out there. He's got to open it up. He's got young guys that are now learning the system because we just got them with Mitchell and Mechie. Let them out there, open it up, start doing something, guys. Show us what you can do because we need that. You can't have a pedestrian offensive coordinator. And if you want proof of that, take a look what the hell's happened in New England. Every friggin' analyst is telling me New England's not going to last. They're going to fall apart. They're not that good. On paper, they're not really, but they also happen to have one of the best friggin' OCs in the history of the game.
Yep.
He was a terrible head coach, but McDaniels is one of the best. And look what he's done with Drake May. Drake May is not right now an elite
great football.
He's a good quarterback. He may be elite. He's not yet, but McDaniels is sure as hell giving him every opportunity to win. And that's the difference. I don't know if Engstrand can do it. And the thing,
there's a significant difference level of experience too. But we had a couple other calls we gotta get on, man. Thanks for calling. We appreciate it.
You got it.
Later, dude.
Have a good one.
No, and he made some really good points, man. And but to compare Josh McDaniels to Engstrand is ridiculous. McDaniels is a Hall of Fame. He's not Hall of Fame, but he's won Super Bowls as a coordinator.
And I still want to see Engstrand with a better quarterback. Like I'm not gonna quite give up on him yet. Wilkes he stinks. I mean, I think we all probably gave up on him maybe after week 1.
Well, V-Man already mentioned Mendoza last night, so he's already started.
It's for this chat. We're digging like at the depths of like bedrock for quarterbacks. We have a
Marcus Mariota campaign in the chat.
We got
right now,
Josh Dobbs mentioned from Random Man.
Tommy DeVito.
Anthony Richardson, which A.D. Mitchell would probably walk out the door if that happened.
Joe Milton, I wouldn't mind. I wanted Joe Milton before that, so I wouldn't mind that at all. He'd be exciting, but
his arm is exciting.
What's up, Lane? How you doing, man?
Oh, hey. How you doing?
Doing great, man. How you doing?
Ranch and Bubba. First time calling in. Yeah, I mean, I like what the last caller was talking about. Yeah. Like, how do you feel about, like, Cam Newton? Do you think maybe we should get him?
Cam Newton? Why Cam Newton?
Why? Well, because he could be good. He was on the Carolina Panthers. Or, like, I don't know about Wilkes. I think he's over with it. I think he was overrated and, but yeah, I mean, going into, like, the Jets just don't have it. I mean, honestly, you could, like, you could blame, like, Aaron Glenn that he just didn't do what he was supposed to, that he's not doing what he was supposed to do. So now, I mean, who do you get as a coach?
I can't do this. I can't do it, Bob. Sorry.
Now,
I just can't do that call.
I knew it once what we were in for once he called in.
I just can't do it, man. I just can't do that call. Was just not. I just couldn't do it.
That's the Lane train. He's Lane train. Yep.
Is this what the guy does? He like trolls people?
Yeah, he calls into Jake's show all the time, and he always like he's got some takes, that's for sure.
Because I was gonna usually I would rip the shit out of somebody, but I'm like, you know what? People deal with things, man. So I don't want to be that. I used to be. I'm more mature now. I was gonna rip them to shreds. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna let this one slide.
Developing.
Yeah, but I can't do that. I couldn't do it. I was like the Cam Newton thing. I was like, I'm not gonna do it. Then he's like, he was just all over the place. Yeah, I had to be. So yeah,
the Cam Newton Cam Newton mention was something.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I can't just. I'm sure he won't call it ever again. So that's cool. So we're gonna go to our cleanup hitter, an hour and a half somehow. This show talking about. I couldn't do it, Armand, because you know what? You guys used to make me feel bad when somebody Who is the guy that used to call in? He's on Jake's show all the time now. And he would say some weird shit. I'd go off on him. And then the next day I'd get all these messages being like, you're so mean. You're a bully. He'd always call in. There was a closet in the background. What the hell was his name?
I'm not sure.
Shit. It's he used to get so like, oh, I forgot what the hell his name was. He calls him Jake Show all the time now. Cause the Batman. No, it was like
Charles.
Charles. That's
Yes.
who it was.
Yeah, Disaster just wrote it in the chat.
Yeah. Oh, that what it was? Yeah, that's
Or
Charles. That's
Disaster
exactly who it was.
WK5JD.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because one day I just
Yes,
lost him.
Charles.
I couldn't take any more of his shit. And that was the end of that. Jay Klein just got mad because I ripped a couple of his takes. Yep. Charles Gorman. That's who it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I remember Charles.
yeah, I don't be mean anymore. I'm maturing now. I'm less angry, but those days were, so I didn't want to rip this guy. And all of a sudden he has some kind of going on. I don't want to feel guilty and bad about it. So
Yeah, I wasn't sure where we were headed once we heard the Cam Newton take.
yeah. And then you worry about them saying some wild outlandish shit. Cause I don't feel like having to editing anything out. And so we're more mature now. And I'm just, if this was after a bad Jets loss, if it was like something we're really pissed off about, like we were like 5 weeks ago, I probably would have destroyed that guy. But this is,
Yeah, just let him roll.
I did that. I do that still. It's just, times are tough these days. All right, we'll bring in our cleanup hitter. What's up, man?
Guys, how are
We're doing great, man. We're doing good like Sam Darnold.
except the game I was at
They lost.
where he threw 4 interceptions. You guys won them back?
But you know what it was? He wanted to give you an experience of being a Jet fan. That's what he wanted to let you see how it is, like firsthand.
Yeah, nice.
It sucks, doesn't it? See, Jose, what you saw that one game, we saw for the last 10 years.
All right. And I'm still seeing you with this defense. And
And you have JSN too, man.
what?
JSN, your friggin' receivers are going to break records.
Yeah.
Repeat that. I didn't hear you.
Your JSN, your receiver is going to break records.
Oh, yes.
He's like, oh, yeah, it's no big deal. Like, fucking, we can't get a receiver to get 100 yards receiving. He's got guys breaking receivers, breaking records over there.
Last time I was on here, you asked if I like Sam Darnold, and I told you no. I like JSN.
I wish we had a high-flying offense, Bubs. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, these days, the old call-in show days were wild, dude. Like the radio days, we used to go off the rails fighting. It was bad. We were so angry all the time. But now we can't get angry now because we're so irrelevant. It's hard to be even angry anymore. Like we were mad for the first 6 weeks of the season. Now we don't even care anymore. Everybody's just numb to it.
Yeah.
Can I give you my draft pick? And I know it's only November.
Go for it. They'd be better than Bubs.
Draft Caleb down. The safety out of
Caleb Down, player.
You guys need it.
You know we need. Here's my question for you, Jose. This is gonna be an assessment of your college football evaluation skills. Is Jeremiah Love the Heisman Trophy winner?
He's a top candidate.
He should win it. I'm telling you right now, he should win it.
Yeah, he's better than.
I think he's better than Mendoza.
He's better than Mendoza.
But fucking
Mendoza.
Jeremiah Love is just phenomenal, bro. He's got legit game-breaking explosive talent. The numbers he's getting now, he's getting like 8 carries, 14 carries. He's not even carrying the ball 30 times a game.
Would he be mad if the Jets dropped?
Well, think about this. Look at the Detroit Lions. They took Jahmyr Gibbs. They weren't worried about that. And you figured when the Jets had Breece Hall, Joe Douglas was talking about getting another running back too. That's right. Brace yourself.
That's
the
why
Jets
I'm
get
like,
him. I forget it. I will be so unbearable to get.
oh yeah, that's right. You're there.
Oh, dude, I guarantee you, if they got Love, I will find a way to interview him. I promise you, I will.
You would be arrested before.
No, I'll tell you, I'd use every freaking contact I have to get that interview. I
You
promise
would be
that.
arrested before the Jets let that happen.
No, they won't. No, they've
The
approved my
Jets
interviews.
do
I
not
just haven't done
like you.
any. I'm not on their shit list, surprisingly enough, right now. They're kind of like leaving me alone.
It's a miracle.
That's because they played competent football for the last month. I haven't done nothing to fucking go off the rails about.
Yeah.
So,
Sucks.
well, Bubs, what do you think about Jeremiah Love as a Heisman Trophy winner?
I think he's got a good shot. I don't know what the exact odds are, but the updated odds.
He's not the favorite. It's still Mendoza,
Yeah. Mendoza probably wins just because
the quarterback.
he'll probably win, but he's averaging like 7.1 yards per carry. I think I saw. It's
He's
crazy.
incredible. He's so explosive,
And
so physical. He's
Yeah, it'd be
versatile.
almost another running back snub because last year they gave it to Travis Hunter, who a lot of people thought they should have given it to Genty. So I could see it being another running back finishing behind, well, in this case, a quarterback.
Guys, I hope you guys have a happy Thanksgiving.
Have a great Thanksgiving, Jose.
Yes, have a great Thanksgiving.
Love you guys.
Love you too, man. Have a good night.
Yeah. Peace.
Later, dude.
Have a good one.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. We have Jets Falcons on Sunday. Yippee. There's two streams. There's a YouTube stream and a phone stream. So there's two different streams.
You know what I was just thinking?
What?
Forget who brought it up about bowls, but I don't know why. You remember when I was just thinking because of the possibility of what's his face? Brady Cook playing. You remember when they went up to Foxborough, 2016? It was like that Bryce Petty run. They were down, I think it was like 41-0, and he kicked the field goal. Remember that? I think Fitz actually saw some time in that game. I think Bryce Petty started. Because then they had like that Saturday night game against Miami where Bryce Petty got sandwiched by Ndamukong Suh and Cameron Wake, I think it was.
There's been some doozies,
It was just,
man.
I was going down memory lane of the end of the Todd, well, not really the end. That was Bowles' second year, but yeah, the conservative Todd Bowles 41-0 field goal was always good.
We've had some rough times with this staff, man. This organization, I mean, it's been brutal, dude.
Yeah.
So bad.
The 10th straight losing season and now 15 years no playoffs. So it's been a lot of years where Thanksgiving, the season's over. We haven't been able to get to Thanksgiving. The last 2 years, we haven't gotten to, it's tough enough to get to Halloween.
It's our goal.
We barely get to Labor Day.
Thank you guys for joining us. We definitely appreciate it. Have a great Thanksgiving. Tomorrow night, Ian and I will be fighting about Kyler Murray. So if you want to listen to that, it'll be at 7 o'clock, which is going to be a complete disaster. And we'll talk to you guys later.
Have a good one.